Hey, crypto friends, we're going to check in on our usual names here. Also going to look at ADA, TRX, REP, BTC, XLM, ICX, Steam BTC, and then BCH BTC. These are based on member votes. Couldn't get BCH BTC on BitMEX, so we're going to use Coinbase. So where we last left off, we were watching a 4-hour tightening pattern on Bitcoin. We said we're going to likely break this tightening pattern into the weekend. And even if we get a bull break, we have to zoom out to the daily time frame and scout a lower high on the daily chart, also highlighting how the daily exponential resistance is. We're going to be right there, ready and waiting if we did get a bull break as well. The first thing that I look at on bull breaks, because we did get a bull break of this pattern, the first thing I want to look at, because what's been happening for the last 3 months plus, however long it's been, is that bull breaks are in a very short amount of time. It's a 5-minute spike, and then we get hours and hours of consolidation. That's the last thing that we want to see. That does not scream bullish confidence. That's not an uptrend. An uptrend is when you see higher lows and higher highs prolonged over a period of time, showing continued sustained buying pressure by the bulls. When you see a bull move like this, and this is the break that occurred on the 4-hour time frame to give us that initial bull break before the bears took back over again. Let me find it here amongst all these numbers. But you can see that if you zoom in, and this is what I did. The first thing I saw that bull break, I zoomed in and said, okay, what does the bull break look like? 3 minutes of bullish action that resulted in dozens and dozens of hours of consolidation afterwards. So that bull break on the hourly time frame looks like a huge green candlestick. If you zoom in, it's literally 3 minutes of bullish action that resulted in multiple dozen hours of consolidation after that, and then resulted in an all-out dump. So again, to see bullish uptrends, we need sustained, prolonged buying pressure to put pressure on the shorts, not just this instant spike out of nowhere that goes nowhere and then slowly fades before giving the entire move back. So that move didn't cause me to flinch at all as someone who's all cash and patiently waiting for the bulls to prove something. We're in a downtrend on the weekly chart. We're in a downtrend on the daily chart. The bears have the vast majority of comfortability and strength in this market environment, and that just remains the case. I wish it was not so, but that's the way that it is. So I am skeptical of every single bull move that I see because the bulls have to prove it in this market. The burden of proof is on those bulls, and they are not proving it in any way, shape, or form at any point. And if we go back and look at, the videos that we've been doing consistently, we have been skeptical of these bulls at this point now for the last 3 weeks because this bull break that we got on the daily time frame, we were skeptical of that as well. It was a bull break that occurred on a very short time frame and got no follow through and no bull volume behind it. So it's just a micro version of that happening again yesterday. And now we're looking down at the low of this consolidation of 34.81, and we bounced off of 34.81. So that level is still holding at this point. If 34.81 does break, we're looking down at 31.29, the lowest price we've seen. Can the weekly chart drop to lower lows? Absolutely. Bitcoin can be sub 3,000 in just a week or two from now. So just be aware that that's a possibility. Our new daily lower high is 37.66. Anything under that is just another daily lower high, keeping the bears in control. What does the short term look like trying to defend the support? Hourly weak bounce attempt. We're back to the EMA zoom out game. We watched the hourly 12 and 26 exponential resistances. We're watching the 15-minute first. Here we are testing them. Get over the 15-minute. We look at the hourly. If we get over the hourly, we look at the 4-hour. But at this point, bears have complete control, and it's just a question of how long can the bulls hold this support before we drop down and break to lower lows on the daily time frame. Ethereum on the daily chart. We'll look at weekly charts tomorrow as we wrap up the week. Daily chart for Ethereum, 113.50 is that key support that the bulls want to hold. Less of a bull break here on Ethereum. You can see we never got over daily exponential resistances. We had 1, 2, 3 rejections. 113.50 is still holding. If that level breaks, it's 105.50, 100 psychological, and then we're looking down in the upper 90s from there. Resistance on the daily, 132.38 was the top of the initial bounce. 126.30, just a lower high. And here we are close to testing supports with daily exponential resistance continuing to reject the price. Looking at Litecoin on the daily chart. Litecoin got the bull break with no follow through as well. We're looking at support of 29.98 and then 29.51. So still holding some supports here. New resistance is 33.15 as a daily lower high. And it's all about 29.51 support in the short term. After 29.51 is 29.11 and 27.48. So we're holding these support levels from the low of daily consolidation in the last couple of weeks at this point, but obviously the odds favor a bear break with how we're standing right now on all of these charts. XRP USD, it was a little bit bearish pretty much for the last couple months, and we broke to lower lows already. So while none of those names that we just looked at have broken to lower lows just yet, Ripple has. And we pointed out in a recent video how if you're looking to play bullish, perhaps TRX, if Bitcoin breaks bullish, we would look to TRX for bullish follow through. And if Bitcoin breaks bearish, we're going to look for XRP for bearish follow through. So we broke 318, not by a whole lot. 315 is what we dropped down to. After 315, there's little support until 285. So a lack of support here, a new daily lower high after rejecting from daily exponential resistance is 3.5. And we'll see if we get more follow through here once Bitcoin and these other names, if Bitcoin and these other names break their support. We'll see if we get further downside on XRP. ADA USD, so a little bit different. We have this support of 4 cents, and we're well above that support at this point. Daily lower high looking to be set potentially at 4.8. So we can see that the bulls are holding up a lot better than Bitcoin and these other names at this point. But if we break that 4 cent support, 368 is the next level, and then we're back in the same boat as everybody else with a lack of support until our recent 2018 low. So it was a bull break that got no follow through with an upper wick. We saw the bear break, and testing that support, a little bit more cushion to work with than these other names. TRX USDT, so also pulling back with a daily inside bar bear break. Support 2047, must hold that level. If we can hold that level, we have an equilibrium with our high, low, lower high is the top of the bounce, and now the bulls have to form a higher low compared to 204 and see this daily range continue to tighten. So both ADA and TRX are holding up a bit better because they have more space to work with before we get to that support, but everybody is consolidating down towards these support levels, and so far out of everybody that we've looked at, it's only XRP that has broken its short-term recent support the last couple weeks compared to everybody else. REP BTC, so now things are going to be a little bit different because we are comparing to Bitcoin, and actually I'm just going to keep things a little bit more uniform here. We'll look at our last USDT names, and then we'll switch over to the names that are compared to Bitcoin. So XLM USDT, daily exponential resistance. These rejections are just very firm, and clearly if we can't get over these levels, bulls aren't going anywhere. 9838 is our support from recent lows. Not much wiggle room before that level, and then 9175, the 2018 low, and we could be headed down to all-time lows here on this chart on Binance. So, new resistance on the daily chart, 1109 stands out. We were unable to break that level on this little bull attempt, and now we're heading back down towards support, keeping in mind that while we still have not broken this support, just like the majority of names, once we do break that support, we're going to be much closer to 2018 lows than we are on a lot of these other names, although Bitcoin will probably be comparable in terms of percentages as well before we get down to that lower low. But all-time lows, obviously, never a good thing, and it would be all-time lows on Binance that we would be looking at if we break 9175. ICX USDT also have space to work with for the bulls. 2091 is the level. Resistance is 2482, where we topped out. If we break 2091, we're looking down at the 2018 low of 1807. So still holding that support. This is in a category similar to TRX and ADA having space to work with, while other names like Bitcoin are right on top of this support right now. REP BTC, daily time frame shows a little bit of upper wicks of profit taking from the mid 5.005 range. And looking at more details, the 4-hour time frame, we can see we still have the clear higher low pattern. Higher low is at 4581 and another higher low at 4746, but clear resistance up at these highs. So it's a bit of an ascending triangle where you have a horizontal resistance line and higher lows as the range gets tighter and tighter. A bull break would be 5.5, getting over that level, and a bear break at this point would be losing 4.746 support. If we lose the 4-hour uptrend, we zoom out to the daily chart and look for healthy consolidation, and we will look for a higher low to form compared to 346, the last higher low on the daily time frame. So 4-hour uptrend is the most important to be watching here. It's getting tight, And if we lose that support, daily consolidation is coming. Steam BTC has already started this daily consolidation. So if I zoom in here, I'm going to assume that the 4-hour uptrend has been lost. And that is the case. We had a low, a bull attempt to see continuation, just a weak little bounce, and then a drop to a lower low. So as soon as we broke 0.0001, that told us that daily consolidation was underway. Now we're watching the 4-hour lower highs. Our last lower high is 107. Anything under 107 on a bounce attempt here will keep the lower high intact. It's very healthy consolidation at this point, looking at the daily chart. No red flags. We want to see declining bear volume. Ideally, if it's just 2 days of pullback here before we can change the 4-hour trend back in favor of the bulls, the potential of a daily bull flag is there. But as of right now, we're still clearly in consolidation mode. Have to change the 4-hour trend to be looking at the daily high or low to be established and to be looking back up towards the recent highs. But overall, looking good in terms of increasing bull volume, declining bear volume, and healthy consolidation underway. BCH BTC, steady downtrend on the daily ever since this spike back a month ago. Just lower highs, tightening range, then we drop to lower lows, and now the lower high, lower low pattern is keeping up. The most important resistance for me is 3779. We've also got a resistance level at 3633. And in terms of support, our low right now is 3409. And after that low, there is no support in here. So it's just a slow fade, giving all of this move back at this point. And we're looking for a higher low to form on the weekly chart. But you can just see one big bull spike and then a month of fade. That's not what the bulls want to see. Just like we were talking about on the short-term time frame, 3 minutes of a bull spike with dozens of hours of consolidation. You want these bull moves to be more prolonged and to last over a period of time, not just this quick spike up and then more prolonged fade. So overall, it is not bullish sentiment in this space as much as we want it to be. It's just not what we're seeing on the charts. The daily and weekly time frame continue to remain in a very clear downtrend with the bears in control until the weekly trends change. That's going to be the case, and we're going to be skeptical on any bull moves. I hope you continue to do good things out there. We'll wrap it up with some bird action from this morning. I like feeding birds, and I like watching them. I just watch them interact with the different species and, you know, who's taking charge, who's the more aggressive species. And we actually watched the mourning doves recently take on the blue jays. Blue jays are known to be aggressive, and they're bigger than a large majority of birds. But these, you know, passive little doves were standing up to the blue jays, which was cool to see. And then today we had a massive murder of crows. There were hundreds of them out there. You'll hear them in the background, and then they showed up and took over to a certain degree. But pretty cool to just observe and watch how all these animals interact with each other. We'll see you soon. Keep up the good work.